Hello, welcome to my live. Today is Wednesday, the 11th of March, 2026. For those who are just discovering me, I'm a therapist and coach, and I use my free time to come here twice a week, every week, to talk about mental health, therapy, psychology, and how we can elevate our human experience through self-awareness. And so anything to do with those minds is what I talk about. I should be here for a couple of hours. And the way I always start my live streams is by reading and commenting on some of my own posts. So let's get started. The first one goes like this. Some days, not doing anything is the work. Some days, not being productive is progress. And some days, allowing disempowerment is the best way to release it. So this is to highlight that we all want to change, we all want to grow, we all want to heal, but sometimes there's only so much we can do. And it's important to accept that we have different level of energy and emotional state within each moment. So we are always doing our best. And paradoxically, one of the things that I have noticed causes a lot of problem in their healing journey is that they're trying too hard to heal. Healing is a process that is something that we allow to happen based on what we do one step at a time. And so we can't force or accelerate those things. Next one, nostalgia is the toxic belief that happiness is prisoner of the past. And so a lot of people from a certain age have some nostalgia of their past, and that's because they believe that some of the happiness that they have experienced back then, they can never have ever again. I personally dread nostalgia because I'm too busy being in the present moment. I've got nothing there, but also because my childhood was relatively terrible, and so there's that as well. Anyway, let's move on. Next post. If anger and crying were your only means to get attention from your parents when you were a child, this explains why you always get angry or emotional when you're trying to be seen and heard. Because there's a part of you that still believes that this is the only way for you to be taken seriously. So a bit of psychology here, but many of us, we don't realize that we behave in certain ways because we have not upgraded our habits from the past. And so if we are always very emotional or very loud when we're trying to be seen by someone that is important to us, that will reflect the fact that back then it was the only way we could be seen. Next post, a little bit more cheerful one. Doing things that make you happy is not a reward. It is a requirement and a necessity to have a healthy, balanced, and full life. So this is quite important because a lot of us, we like to believe that I can only chill and enjoy myself once I have done all those things. It's actually the other way around. It takes both for us to be operational and be optimal. So we have to be happy. And so do things that make you happy. Invest, plan, organize time for you to do those things. Not just when you have time, once you've done everything else. Next post, a very dear theme to me. Premature forgiveness is emotional repression and locks the trauma deeper. The key word here is premature. Every time I talk about forgiveness, there's always an army of goody-do-gooders that are like, you must forgive, you don't do it for them, you do it for you, la, 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 and I get it. But this is not what I'm trying to say here. What I'm trying to say is that if it's premature, if people are not ready, then we're actually hurting them instead of doing them any favor. Next post, and then I will start to read some comments from you guys. When people say not all parents, they mean not us. When people say not all men, they mean not me. Defensiveness is a confession of some level of personal subconscious guilt or shame related to the accusations. The quicker people are to defend, to react, the more they're trying to hide. So, something interesting for you. Let me read the comment. We've got Wilma. Hello, Didi. Hello, Wilma. The masked one. What are you even talking about? Who knows? I don't think that we know each other yet, but if you have anything you'd like to talk about in regards to mental health and psychology, this is what I do. If not, then this is not the place for you. Please be kind. I'm going to continue reading some posts and commenting on them until I have some comments from you guys. Okay? But don't be shy. As soon as you're ready, we can get started. Okay, next one. Your good intentions don't matter if they hurt people. How you make people feel is what matters. And so a lot of people believe that just because they have good intentions is enough, and it isn't. Because, as the saying goes, the road of hell is paved with good intentions. We all have good intentions, but our good intentions are only a projection of our understanding of things, and we don't know if it's in line with what people want from us or need from us. Next one. This one is quite interesting. CPTSD always involves betrayal. And this is why it is so insidious and takes so long to heal. Because there's a part of you that still somehow believes that the things that happened to you happened because of you. So CPTSD, it's not one big event. It's a lot of small events that either did or didn't happen to us. So if we didn't have our needs met, or if we have been slowly belittled, put down regularly by a spouse or by family members over a long period of time. And this is why there's a betrayal, because there are people, they're the people who are the closest to us. We allow them keeping on doing what they do to us. And this is what and how over time we develop some symptoms of CPTSD. No questions yet. I'm going to carry on. Positive post that I post out today on TikTok. You are the sum of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. What this means is that if you have a pet that you love, a dog or cat, or any type of pet, that is already 20% of positive influence in your life, guaranteed every day, before you even step out of the door. So we don't take them into account, but pets are very important. When it comes to anxiety, to depression, to mental health, people don't realize how much having a pet makes a difference. I certainly realized it myself. We had dogs for 17 years. And when we lost our last one, I realized after a few months that there was something different about me. It was because I've taken our dogs for granted. The fact that they were one of my most potent nervous system regulator. Next post. The only people who can ever betray you are your parents when you were a child. Because you didn't have any choice, nor any, because you didn't have any choice, nor any understanding of the world then. As an adult, however, you have choices, and you understand the world, and you only get betrayed by your own expectations and stubbornness. And so I think this is quite self-explanatory. Again, just so you know, guys, I'm here to talk with you about anything. So sometimes I understand it can be a bit slow, but if you have anything you'd like to talk about, don't hesitate. I feel much better and easier when I can engage with you. And so let me carry on for maybe 3 more posts, and hopefully by then some of you would have mustered the courage or the inspiration to ask me something about yourself. Okay, the last 3 posts of the day. And if I don't get any comment within the next 5 minutes, maybe I just go home. Not home. I resume my day. I'm home. My office is from home, but maybe I can use my time to do other stuff, and I can always come back some other time. Okay, here's one. Negative thoughts cannot hurt you. They're just thoughts, and thoughts have no inherent power. Believing them is what gives them power. And obeying them, treating them like an emergency, and acting on them is what hurts you. So a little bit of metacognition here, for those who are interested in that. Next one. Laughter is not neutral. A laugh at any joke is a vote in favor of belittling whoever the joke is aimed at. Humor has always been used to normalize the bullying and the dehumanization of some people in society. And so be aware of this the next time that you hear a racist, sexist, ableist, body-shaming, homophobic or transphobic joke. Jokes are not innocent. Whenever we are laughing at someone's joke, we are supporting the intention of it. So it doesn't mean that we can't feel that it's funny. I, for instance, for a long, long, long time, have found offensive jokes very, very funny because it's the culture that I grew up in. And so I'm wired to laugh at those jokes. But once I laugh, I can maybe say to myself, you know what, I don't want to find those things funny anymore. I don't want to watch those sort of things anymore because this is making the world worse. So I don't want to add to this. There are plenty of comedians, and many of them don't need to step on others to entertain their audience. So there you go. The last post I'm going to talk about today, and hopefully, please, talk to me, guys, is this. If you believe that survivors are exaggerating, it is because you are underestimating the evil in some people. And since a lack of empathy is the root of all evil, if you lack empathy for the victims by siding with the abusers, that'll be because you are underestimating the evil in you. That's it. I'm out of post now. I'm going to stay, I'm having a cup of tea maybe for a couple of minutes. If you don't have anything to ask me, it's no problem. I will come back Friday. I will try again. Okay? Soul anchor, exactly. All right, thank you. Is there anything you'd like to ask me or anyone at all? Eagle Tart. What are the benefits of using art to deal with grief in terms of length of time, grieving versus overcoming grief? So grieving is a journey that is different for all of us. Thank you for the question, by the way, for being the first one to ask me something. I nearly gave up. And so grieving is a very different journey for all of us. It's not a problem. It's not something that we want to deal with. It's something that we want to embrace and experience. It's a very important aspect of our life, losing someone that matters to us. We are here in this human experience to explore the full spectrum of all emotional states. And so grief is one of them. And typically we talk about the different stages of grief. People will talk about how some of us will have a lot of different conflicting emotions happening all over the place. There'll be anger, sadness, denial, guilt, shame, all sort of things. However, the way we deal with that is different to all of us. So I'm saying this first to address the length. You're talking about the length of time. Everyone is different. For some of us, it can be very short. For some of us, it can last forever and get worse and turn into depression. And so, as far as art is concerned, art is always a good thing to do. Being creative is always a good thing to do. Or either creating or enjoying art is always a good thing to do. In terms of grief, however, I'm not sure that there's any direct connection between art and grief. I'm not sure that I understand what you mean. Do you mind telling me a little bit more about yourself, please? Igor Art, what are the benefits of using art to deal with grief in terms of length of time, grieving versus overcoming grief? Art is used for mainly when we are depressed, to get the flow going, to change our state. And so maybe that's how you are thinking about it. But to me, grieving is not just sadness. Grieving is going through all the different emotions for some time after someone that we care for has gone. Eagle Tart, can art help relieve the symptoms of grief? Again, grief is not a symptom. Grief is an experience. Your life is made of experience, and everything is there to teach you something. And so some experience feel good, some experience don't feel good at all, but they're still lessons, they're still a part of your experience as a human being. And so it's not like you want to get rid of grief. It's not dirty, it's not bad, it's not negative. It is disempowering at times, but it's the thing. Once you have come out of the stages of grief, you will understand what it means. Everything happens for a reason. Even losing someone dear to us happens for a reason. It is there to teach us about what it is to be a human being and to lose someone dear to us. It's part of our experience. And so don't try to rush the grief. Go through it. And very often what we say is that you don't get rid of the grief. You grow bigger around it. It's an extra experience to your collection of experiences. And that's why I said at the beginning of our conversation that we don't want to deal with grief. We want to understand it. We want to explore it. We want to go through it. And then you will always have, if you care for that person, some moment where you're going to miss them and think about them and feel sad. And it's okay, because they will always be a part of you. Everything that you live is a part of your adventure, of your journey. So it's always somewhere there. Right? If you're trying to get rid of it, it's like you don't want to feel sad for someone that you cared for. And it's important to feel everything because we are human beings. Does it make sense? Does it help? Igor Tat? Have a sip of tea. Guys, anything else you'd like to ask me? Fateh Tatia said hi. Hello. Fateh Tatia. I don't know what it means. Igor Tart. It's been a couple of years, but I don't want to forget them. I was taught that the process of a human experience was to finish and move on from that emotion. It depends. So it's not the process of the human experience. It's the stages of grief at some point we're able to resume. So if you have not been able to resume after 2 years, it means that there's something else. It's not grief that we're dealing with. I think that could be something to do with depression. Sometimes, as we go through life, things happen and aggravate something that was there already, and that was waiting for more situations to really get that thing to come out. And I'm talking about depression here. And so I believe that but you say it yourself, you say, I don't want to forget them. And so there's a part of you that still wants to think about them, even if you're living even if your quality of life is being affected by it. And so what you can do is to change that perspective. You don't need to keep the sadness or the emptiness in order to be connected with them. You can connect with them by changing your spiritual belief. You can realize that maybe explore different spiritual thoughts. And the way that I see it is that there's no such thing as death. We only move on from a different dimension to another one. Everything, life, reality, everything is an illusion. We have to experience an experience, and that experience is an illusion in itself. But the way that I see it is that when we are transitioning to something else, as far as everyone is left, it feels like they're gone. But we never disappear, we never go anywhere. I believe that consciousness is infinite and eternal. I believe we just shift from a place and time to another place and time. And so if we can get our head around that, then it's easier for us to deal with people who are gone. Whenever I miss someone or one of my dogs, then I just think about them and they are with me in that moment and I'm feeling good about it. If I want to speak to them, I talk to them. I can meditate, I can feel them in me, and that's good enough. Does it make sense? Equal thought. You're talking about two different things. On one hand, you're talking about the grief itself. I don't want to forget them. And on the other side, you're talking about how you thought that our human experience was to finish and move on. But again, you don't finish, you never finish anything. You explore something and then you grow outside of it. It's an added perspective that you have about yourself, about life, about people. Fate Tatya, I have trauma and a broken leg. Okay? If you want, we can talk about this, but I want you to know that this is a serious page, right? I'm here to help people, and so please be kind. If you are not serious, I love humor, but there's a place and a time for everything, and there wouldn't be one of those place and time. Okay? Ellen Reynolds, just back from Harlow home now. Okay? Welcome back, Ellen, back from Harlow. Eagle Tart, my art of late has to do with the transition to another dimension. I've been using this to feel better mentally. Okay, let me try to understand. My art of late, I don't understand this bit, has to do with the transition to another dimension. I've been using this to feel better mentally. Okay, I don't understand really what you're saying, but whatever what you're doing, if it makes you feel better, then it's positive, right? To deal with loss. Okay? We'll have different systems. If it works for you, good on you. Tyler Durden. What's the fastest way to go from isolation, depression, stress, fear, and trauma to everything's fine again and I feel normal? There's no fastest way. There's only your way. You need to find out what is your way. You need to get started on your own healing journey. And it can be fast, it can be slow, it can be up and down, it can be all sorts of things. And no one knows because we are all vastly different. It's not just that you have your own trauma and baggage, but also it depends on your environment. It depends on the people around you. It depends on the things that you do. It depends on so many things. And so one thing that I could say to you is that you want to get rid of the impatience. When you say, what is the fastest way? It's normal, it's human. We all want to get better ASAP. But paradoxically, the more we're trying to rush something, the more we are hasty about something, the more we're actually making it harder on ourselves. Instead of allowing for things to happen by working on ourselves. And also, you're talking about a lot of things. You're talking about depression, stress, fear, trauma. It's a lot of different things. And each thing can mean a lot of different things in its own. But you have all of those things as well. So it's really difficult for me to really understand where you're coming from. Would you like to tell me more about yourself, Tyler? And we can explore maybe some strategies for you specifically. Angela, hi Didi. How can I avoid superficial connections with people? I don't know when people are interested in deep conversations or if they are only giving me superficial attention when I meet them. Are you neurodivergent? Do you find it difficult to understand social cues? But it's quite simple. How do you avoid superficial connections? By talking to them. And if they talk about stuff that are superficial, first try to engage in things that are maybe more important to you, more interesting. What is your meaning of life? I don't know, something deeper. But then if they don't feel like engaging in this sort of conversation, that'd be the signal, right? But reality is not like that. I'm oversimplifying things. A lot of people, typically neurotypical people, use small talk to connect with people first and foremost. It's like a ritual. And then once they feel familiar and close to people, then some of them may open themselves up to you. And so maybe try to learn how to do this, try to decipher body language, facial expressions, all of those things, and the words they use. Just give them a chance to introduce themselves and then try to talk about something. And if it doesn't work, then you know. It's quite simple, right? But you don't want to avoid superficial people. There's no such thing as superficial people. There's only people who will be either superficial with you or not, depending on X, Y, Z. Everyone has some depth, but some people may not want to explore their depth with someone that they don't know. Maybe they need to feel confident before. And also, people have some depth in different topics. Maybe they can talk about that with passion, and the rest they don't have any interest about. So they'd rather talk about the weather instead. I, for instance, am obsessed with psychology and the human experience. And so I always talk about that sort of things to everyone all the time. And I can feel that some people, more often than not, people are actually finding this interesting. But sometimes they don't. And I can feel it straight away, I can see it straight away. And I just say, okay, it's no problem, no worries, fair enough. Have a good day. That's it, right? I don't know when people aren't interested. But then there's another layer. I mean, it depends. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Because it's true that also sometimes people are interested by us because of the way we look, trying to flirt or something like that. So it's a whole different thing. Angela, good explanation. Thank you, Lily. Thank you, Angela. Yeah. From Angela, what do you think about the war in Iran? I think that war is never a good thing. However, war happens because people. And so if you're asking me about my political stance, I believe that everything is always the consequence of something else. Everything is the continuation of a motion that was started before. And so the way that I see it, everything that is happening now was meant to happen. If you ask me which side I am on the side of people who want to stop for innocent people to be destroyed. I'm careful about my words because of the censorship. But I think you understand what I'm talking about, what I'm saying, I hope. I don't like to see horror happenings, but I understand that things happen because humans are humans. And if you do something, something else will happen as a result of that. So that was inevitable. However, I believe that just based on the stuff that I saw on Instagram and TikTok, it seems like things are starting to look better. It seems like there's some sort of justice finally happening. And so again, any casualties of war is atrocious, and I would never cheer that. But I understand why people do from a different perspective. Because it's not about destroying a group of people. It's about seeing that finally there's some justice done. Finally, some people are doing something about it. And to me, it is also good news. I knew that it was always going to happen. I don't know how things are going to unfold, but I believe that things are always going to get better. And it seems like it's already looking that way. So, yeah. Is that what you had in mind, Angela? Tara Durden, the internet is a gold mine for information, but sadly it won't be enough to just know what to do. You just have to do it. It's about taking action, and that's scary sometimes. I'm not sure what you're talking about. The internet is the internet. I think you are mixing up different conversations here. Sadly, it won't be enough. Enough for what? To know what? The internet is a huge thing, and you have different ways to use the internet. And enough for what? Are you talking about a revolution? I think we all take some actions within our capacity. So some people don't because they're overwhelmed or because they don't have empathy, they don't care. But I believe that things happen when they are due to happen. And so some people will take some actions at different level of amplitude, and some others may wait for a different time to do it, and some may never. But I believe that there will always be enough people to take actions so that eventually things change over time. For instance, I do my stuff on the internet, and that's my way to take action by talking about mental health and helping people feel better about themselves. And you say it's scary sometimes. Would you like to expand on that? What is scary about it? I'm a bit confused here. Eagle thought that the transition from our life to death is just that, a transition that we just change to different state of being. Yes, that's what I meant. I agree with you. Help me cope. That we die physically, but our spirit lives on. Yes, absolutely. And so, if you can apply that principle on the person that you have lost, then you won't feel that bad about it. That person is still with you everywhere, all the time, looking over your shoulders, being proud of you, being happy for you. The best thing that you can do to honor someone that you cared for that is gone is to live a happy life. This is something that my mom taught me. Apparently, this is what Chinese people think. The best way to honor your parents, if you loved them, is to have a happy life. And so, if you believe that about that quantum understanding of reality, then it should be relatively easy for you to transfer that on your loss and realize that nothing is ever lost. Because you don't see something doesn't mean that it's not there somewhere. Jen Glock said hi. Hello, Jen. Angela, thank you for sharing your opinion about this war on DD. 100%. Thank you, Angela. It's getting better. I do believe that. And I believe that it's effing time. Rachel Gannon, I love your content. It's so hopeful, empowering, and calming. Thank you so much. That's very kind of you. I'm glad you appreciate. Lifestyle Chat Chat. Hello, Didi. How is your day? Hello, Lifestyle Chat Chat. I'm very well indeed. I've been very busy today. I've done tons of stuff, and that's why at the start of that live stream, I felt a little bit strange because it was very quiet. And so I was kind of a relatively quick pace, and suddenly I'm in front of just my reflection in the phone with no one to talk to. So I'm glad that finally some people are talking to me. Is there anything you'd like to discuss today? Tyler Durden, I'm just saying, if someone with social anxiety, for example, wants to cure the social anxiety, they could go to the internet for advice. I didn't get this. I thought you were talking about Iran or something. Okay. Okay, so let me read your comment first, because I have something to say about this. If someone wants to cure the social anxiety, they could go to the internet for advice. However, to actually overcome the social anxiety, it requires ... taking action. All right, okay. So yes, if you suffer from social anxiety, you may read, you may learn things about yourself, but it takes all sorts of things to heal something. And so, does information help? Yes, it does. Does reading books help? Yes, it does. Does watching some videos on YouTube helps? Yes, it does. Will it help 100% with your anxiety? Not necessarily. It depends, because we are all different. If you suffer from any type of anxiety, it is as vast and intricate as it comes. And so you want to learn more, because nothing happens ever because of one thing. So the more you understand about yourself, the more you understand the bigger picture, the better you will become at becoming better, at feeling better in social settings. But it is a journey, it takes time. And so don't feel down when you say it's hard, because it's not happening yet. We all need some help and some support, and you may find some help online, but it may not be enough. Or it may be enough, but over a long period of time. There's a lot of things that you can do, right? And so if it's hard, maybe be kind on yourself. Do what feels right, but don't try too hard, because the more tension, the more resistance, first, the worse you're going to feel, but also it's going to prolong your state of chronic anxiety. Does it make sense, Tara? Lifestyle Chaff Chat. I saw on TikTok the other day you invited someone to talk live on the page. I found it very distracting. Okay, so good or bad? Distracting sounds like you don't like it, right? I did it because why not? I don't mind it. If there are people that I have talked with before and I know that they come from a good place and they want to have a conversation with me, I don't have any problem with that. But I don't take everyone, because I know that there's a lot of people who are there for the wrong reasons. So I won't be doing this for everyone. But yeah, sometimes I do invite people. I'm happy to do this, to talk with them on one-to-one as I go through the live stream. I don't think we can do this on YouTube, so it's not going to happen here. But TikTok, why not? I've done it once a long while ago on Instagram, and there was also someone who wanted to speak to me, so we did it, and it was all right. Tyler Durden, to know isn't enough. Of course, nothing is just this or that. We believe that if I do that, or if I learn that, it's going to be enough. Nothing is enough, because nothing is just one thing. Everything is the result of many things, all happening at the same time in this moment. So it's about zooming out and realizing that indeed I need to do this and do that and do that and learn that and expand and be patient. And eventually all those things will come together. And then you may experience some acceleration in your healing journey. Lifestyle Chaff Chat, which was maybe a bit selfish of me. Oh, maybe next time, come and talk to me. How about that? Talk to me on one-to-one on the live streams on TikTok. Parisa, hi Didi. Hello, Parisa. Tala Durden, yes, thank you so much. Thank you, Tala. Lifestyle Chaff Chat. I couldn't just focus on what you were saying, the advice you were giving with the two-way conversation going. I understand. So you're overwhelmed, your brain didn't appreciate that way of doing things. I'm sorry. I'm doing my best to accommodate everyone, and so it may happen again. I can't promise that it's not going to happen, but I just go with my flow. I don't really think about those things. But on YouTube, I don't think it's going to happen, because I'm not sure whether this is possible or not here. But thank you for your feedback, nevertheless. ALX Wish, hey, hello, ALX. Lifestyle Chaff Chat at Tyler. Yes, true, what you are saying. Also today's emphasis on individualism. It's not just today's. Society for thousands of years. No, actually, let me try to understand. You say today's emphasis on individualism. Yeah, no, I understand what you mean. We live in an individualist society, capitalism. And so this has been going for a while. It's just not today's. It's not those days and age. It's always been. as far as this society is concerned. And indeed, we want to go back to a more collective kind of mindset as far as community and society is concerned. I would agree with that. Lifestyle chat doesn't help with healing certain matters. No, absolutely. I do mention this every now and then. Society is toxic to mental health. Society is designed for people to be productive, to feed capitalism. And so for anyone who is neurodivergent, it's going to be a problem. And we typically suffer from that if we are neurodivergent. That's why we want to raise more awareness of this so that neurodivergent people can find their place in that society. And also so that we can expand how society works over time. But yes, I do agree with you. Sadly, the way society is structured itself is actually toxic for people's well-being. There's only a small portion of people that will benefit from that system, and they're the ones at the top. Lifestyle chat, because we cannot heal in a vacuum. Yep. Tyler Durden, agree, we can't heal in a vacuum. Okay, we all agree here. Tyler Durden, need others, yes. But here's the thing. We're doing this now, right around now. There's a little community, and you can talk to each other and with me. And so it's possible to create some micro societies within societies. And this is how we start. You find and you create, you start your own tribe. And eventually, as you can function with your own bunch of people, then for some of us, we may be able to tackle the bigger picture in all sort of various ways. And so this is what I'm doing on YouTube and social media. I'm here to raise awareness about mental health. And one of the very important aspects of mental health is society itself. It's not just about addressing our baggage or triggers or stuff from the past. There's also a very immediate environment that influences us every single day. Lifestyle chat. Many of our problems / issues are to do with the relationship we are having with others. But there's a lot of emphasis on healing on your own. Like focus on yourself. Leave toxic people, go it alone. These advice are not always helpful. We're naturally social animals, creatures. Okay, let's talk about this. So you are right and you are wrong at the same time. It's all about a matter of context. Everything is contextual. And so for people who suffer from trauma and abuse, yes, you need to get out of toxic people. Some people are toxic to you. Some people are going to destroy you. If you're in that situation, you need to create a space. Once you have created that space, you can work on yourself. And once you get better, then you can explore finding more people. And once you find more people, you have your tribe. And eventually, a long time down the line, you may even be able to go back to your original people and forgive them and help them heal. But first, we need to look after ourselves first. We cannot help others if we have not been able to help ourselves. It's like if you are drowning in the ocean and you are Kate Winslet on a plank, you won't be able to get more people on that plank. You need to save yourself first, and then you may be able to build a boat, and then you may be able to help others. It starts with self. Self first is the number one most important thing when it comes to healing. We must learn how to heal ourselves first. And we need to get rid of anyone that is toxic to us. Toxic people don't mean that they are inherently bad. It means that they are toxic to us. Maybe some people who are toxic to us are very kind and nice and generous with other people, but not to us. And so we need to protect ourselves first. And once we have done that, again, as I said, we can find our tribe. And eventually, some of us may even be able to go back and heal the people who hurt us in the first place, like I did with my own mum. Not everyone will, but some can. But it has to start with self first. It's very important. I hope it makes sense. Does it? Gazi Game. You look like Gazi Game. I'm going to give you one chance. Okay, maybe you don't know me. I'm not going to even read that comment because I find it very offensive and racist. But sometimes people do it out of clumsiness. Maybe you don't mean that. But this is a page that I use to help people with mental health. So please be kind. If you don't behave, I'm going to get rid of you. But if you have something you want to talk about, you're sincere, I would love to help you. Okay? Daisy Game. Daniela Petrusco. True. Okay, thank you. Lifestyle Chat. Thumb up. Thank you. Barbarous Earth. I stopped smoking the marijuana and doing drugs and alcohol, spiritually, mentally, and physically. What can I tell people around me who use these to help them with mental health before I leave home? It depends. Everyone is different. Every single person has a different way to deal with their problems, and also everyone has different problems. Because someone smokes weed or drinks alcohol doesn't mean that they're all the same. There are a lot of different reasons and there are a lot of different ways to experience those things. And so it depends. If you have managed to stop and you want to inspire others, you may go online, like me. You may write books, do some talks, create some stuff, raise an awareness of that sort of conversation. But for individuals, I can't tell you unless I know the specific case, because we are all so vastly different. I think the one thing that you want to really remember when it comes to addiction is that the addiction is never the problem. The addiction is a symptom of a problem. And as far as someone who is addicted, the addiction is actually the solution. So I want to address why that person needs an addiction in the first place. What is the depression? What is the trauma? What is the anxiety? What is the overwhelm? Whatever it is, what is that thing that requires that person to need an addiction? If you want to tell me more, I'm more than happy to give you some pointers, but I need to have some more details about what you think. I need to understand where you're coming from. Kevin, I'm afraid to go out my car and start it. Can you help me? Yes, sure, but I need you to tell me more about yourself. What do you mean? I'm afraid to go out my car and start it. What do you mean? Do you suffer from anxiety and panic attack? Do you have some phobia? Do you believe that you may have PTSD? Has something happened to you that has changed how you feel? Tell me more about yourself, please, Kevin. Parisa, being alone has helped me heal. Okay, yes, good on you. We're all different. And also, there's not one way of being alone. But yeah, good on you. I'm glad. I'm happy for you, Parisa. Parisa, I had to do it for myself without help. Okay. Sometimes we do things on our own. Ideally, we want to seek help because we live in a society full of people. And a lot of people who want to help us if we give them a chance. Society is designed so that we can help out each other. So there are times where we can help others if we are in that position, and there are times where we must ask help when we are in that position too. Tara Durden, psychological impairment. If trauma or stress or depression or whatever is holding you back from living a normal life, that psychosocial impairment. Psychosocial impairment. Well, it depends. I understand what you're saying. Psychological in regards to society equals psychosocial, right? But then again, not always. Sometimes trauma, depression, and stress can happen for all sorts of different reasons. But I understand that this is what you understand. This is your experience. And that's fair enough. Tara Durden, I learned this term a long time ago. Psychosocial impairment. Okay, fair enough. There are plenty of words out there that are used in all sorts of different contexts for so different reasons. And so, yeah, why not? Tara Durden, I thought it was helpful to learn about. Yeah, okay. Daniela Presco, exactly. Eddie, bro, your voice is so cool. All right, thank you. I'm glad you appreciate it. Nope, not again. I work around a lot of toxic people, so removing them from my life isn't really an option. I surmise that boundary and integrity on my behalf is the best course of action. May have your thoughts, okay? So I work around a lot of toxic people, so removing them from my life isn't really an option. So all that you can do is what you're doing already. You talk about, you submit boundaries, right? It is, indeed. If you can't not be in contact with toxic people, then you have to make it in a way that they're no longer toxic to you. Again, there's no such thing as a toxic person. The only people who, through their behavior within a particular context, are toxic to us. Some people may be toxic to more than one person, but no one is inherently toxic to everyone. People are just people, and every relationship is different. However, if some people are toxic to you, it is only because you're allowing them in your life. So if you can't create a space entirely, as you said, you can always set boundaries. Boundaries means if you, but that's a tricky one, because if you have to be with them, then you have a limited amount of things that you can use to set your boundaries with. Because I was going to say, setting a boundary doesn't mean I don't like what you're doing to me. It means I don't like what you're doing to me, and if you keep doing this, I am going to do that. And so what can you do? You can stop talking to them. If it's within a professional setting, you can speak to the manager, go to the HR, speak to people who are above. Think about what you can do. But if there's nothing that you can do, if you can't create a space, as in, sometimes you may say, if you keep talking to me like that, I won't speak to you until the end of the day, or something like that. But if it's not possible, then you're done. There's nothing you can do. Boundaries needs for you to be able to put some pressure on them, so they have a choice. But if you can't do nothing about it, then there's nothing you can do, I'm afraid. I did a video about boundaries on YouTube, so just bear with me. I'm going to have a quick look now, but when was it? I put a long form video out every week on YouTube, and one of them is about boundaries. I don't know where it is, it's gone. Oh yes, I forgot about the title. It's called How to Set Boundaries Without Guilt. So check it out. I put it out 2 months ago. And on the thumbnail, it says, stop being a people pleaser. But I did another one 2 weeks ago, specifically for narcissists. So how to set boundaries with narcissists. So check them out. They're all on my channel. Maybe they can help you. But I don't know, did I miss something? Did I cover everything? Nope, not again. Clemens, how do I stop ruminating about someone? Is it someone that you have? What sort of relationship is it? Is it someone that you fell in love with? Is it someone that annoyed you and you can't help having some revenge thoughts about them? What sort of thoughts are we talking about? What sort of rumination? If you can give me a bit more, that'd be useful. Now, the simple, universal answer, just based on those few words, without context, would be for you to learn how to meditate and practice mindfulness. And practice letting go, accepting things, moving on. But then again, there's a lot of things that I don't know about yourself. And so if you can give me more details, I would love to try to give you something more specific for you. When we are ruminating about someone, it's always because there's some emotional association to the situation. And so the emotion is causing us to keep playing those thoughts on a loop. It's the emotional energy that is holding those thoughts back inside of us. And so if you think that person is amazing, why don't they love me? Then that will be the emotion behind it. Or if they hurt you, revenge, I want to hurt them. Then again, a very strong emotion is what put some of your thoughts at the top of your consciousness. And again, every emotion that you have in regards to anyone or any situation is to do with some of your own unhealed wound from the past. And so whatever happened to you in the past, if you haven't found closure from them, then as you relive the same situation in your present life as an adult, all of those things are going to come back, and that's why now suddenly you can't help thinking about that person, because there's a part of you that believes, maybe that person is my opportunity to find closure from all of those things that happened to me in the past, and that is happening again with that person. Hope it makes sense. Do you want to tell me more about yourself, Clémence? Clémence, I think it's French, isn't it? Kevin, anxiety and depression. So what about anxiety and depression? You have anxiety and depression. Okay. Do you have some help? The anxiety and depression are the two things that we all suffer from in some capacity. And so it's a big topic. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'm afraid the car won't start. I need you to tell me more about yourself. I can't give you anything just like that. I'm afraid the car won't start. What do you mean by that? Nope, not again. Very helpful. Thank you. Okay, fantastic. Thank you. I'll check them out. Thanks. Thank you. Kevin, I prayed and did writing on it. Now what did he? Praying doesn't help. Praying helps you soothe your nervous system a little bit, if you believe that praying helps, right? But it's only temporary, because it doesn't fix the root cause of your anxiety and your depression. And so I don't know yet, because I don't know you well enough. But if you stick around and you tell me more about you here and there, eventually I will have some pieces of puzzle, and I may be able to have some sort of understanding of who you are and what I could suggest to you. Okay, Kevin? Clemens, it is someone I fell in love with, but has a girlfriend. Right. He reminds me of my narcissistic mother, who was emotionally abusive. Okay. Clemens is French indeed. Okay. Yeah. So, Clemence, you understand already a lot about yourself, because that person that you can't help thinking about and you fell in love with is reminding you of your narcissistic mother. And so you have all the cues there, and I'm going to explain them for you. You had a mother, or maybe you still have, but back then you didn't have any love. And the way she treated you was not kind. And you understood then, when you were a child, that love was not available to you. Unconditional love, happy love, easy love, warm love was not available to you. And so this is one of those instances when I talk about situations that have not found closure. This is one of them. And so your subconscious mind, your emotional mind, now is still believing that you are the same person that you used to be when you were a child. And what it means is that you still believe that this is the sort of things that you deserve. This is the sort of people that you deserve. This is the sort of feelings and emotions that you must feel when you're in a relationship, because this is all that you know. And so this is why now you are with someone who is unavailable to you. He has a girlfriend. And so very often, if we didn't have love in childhood, we're going to attract people who cannot give us love. Typically, people are unavailable like that person because they are with someone, or maybe they are difficult people. Maybe there are people who are unavailable emotionally. Whatever it is, we know from the get-go that that person cannot give me the love that I really want. Because there's a part of you that is still trying to find closure from the past. If I can fix that person that reminds me of my mom, then it means that it was never my fault. And so it's not about what can I do to stop thinking about that person. My advice to you would be to work on yourself. Work on your perception of yourself. If you can change how you see yourself and how you feel about yourself in a relationship, that's when you realize, why am I spending so much time and effort on that a-hole who is taking advantage of me? He knows that he's got a girlfriend, he's never going to let her, he's just playing with me, and it's unfair and it's not right. You deserve better than that. But you need to change the way you see yourself. And this is the work. So you may want to seek help, therapy, or you may want to explore your own journey of self-awareness and healing. There are many different ways to do this, but it's really not about what you're talking about is the symptom of a problem. It's not the root cause of it. And so if you keep on thinking about someone, it's a signal telling you you must work on that. But if you just address your rumination about that individual, but you don't change how you see yourself, even if that person disappears from your life and you don't think about them anymore, you will keep attracting other people and you'll be back to square one, repeating the same situation with someone else, for as long as you haven't changed how you see yourself. Does it make sense, Clement? And does it help? Yeah. Julian Penna, beautiful words of love from a beautiful soul. Thanks, friend. Thank you so much, Julian. Kevin, what is the worst that can happen if I put one foot in front of the other and try again? Very good question. Ask this to yourself. Close your eyes and ask yourself that. What's the worst that can happen? And you may hear a voice telling you, you'll be fine, as long as you're doing one baby step at a time, instead of trying to jump, run, or have a big step. Everything is about baby steps. And so if you're asking me that question, it tells me that already you know the answer. Whatever you want to go through, explore any little baby steps that you can do in that moment to feel better about yourself. And keep doing it each moment. And eventually you would have created a system, a momentum. Angela, do you think that some relationships are meant to fail, Didi? Yes. Most relationships are meant to fail. In fact, 99.99999% of relationships will fail. Think about it. How often do people meet for the first time the love of their life and they stay together forever? How often does that occur? Very rarely. People split up all the time, people break up all the time, people divorce all the time. And sometimes they don't divorce or they don't break up, but they hate each other. They are miserable together because it's better the devil you know, but they're not happy. So there's no point in that. And even if some of us meet someone very special with whom we spend many years together, it is extremely rare when the two people die at the same time. One will leave before, and so the relationship will be split at some point. So we must accept it from the beginning. We must stop expecting something like fairy tales romance. Relationships are not about us finding the perfect person with whom we're going to spend our life with. Relationships are about us finding out about ourselves, exploring our human adventure, and creating some good experience, some lessons, some good memories with others. We may learn from others, we may teach them something as well, and this is the flow and the circle of life. But relationships are absolutely meant to fail. We have to stop thinking the opposite. We have so much expectation, so much pressure, red flags, green flags, and it's just rubbish because we never know. People are so vastly different. There's so many things to take into consideration, but also because everyone is trying to aim for the perfect person, and this doesn't exist. Just bear with me, please. I need to just post my third post on TikTok right now. This is what it's telling me. And then I'm back to you straight away. A post about overthinking. I do believe you. So yes, I think it's on. Just bear with me. Near that. Okay. So relationships, they're not meant to last. However, it's a good thing. We're here in this life to explore ourselves. And there are a lot of different people. And also, even when it comes to relationship, regardless of the shape of it, relationships are meant to evolve. Whether you stay with someone or not, whether you stay friends or not, everything is meant to evolve. So nothing ever stays the same. If you look at couples who've been together for a long time, their relationships has changed numerous times all throughout their life. So it's not about finding the perfect person. It's about finding someone with whom we can work together. We can have the same sort of vibes, and we want to heal together. I hope it helps. I found someone special. I've been with my husband. We've been together for 21 years now, nearly. At the end of the month, we will have been together for 21 years. And so it's quite special. But at any time, I know that something can happen, and I don't mind, because this is how life goes. I would feel hurt because I have attached myself to him, and I do love him dearly, and I know what he does to me. However, we never know what can happen. And so it's more about enjoying each day, having an awareness that we can and we should love people without attachment. If we can learn how to love without attachment, what it means is that instead of me thinking, I need that person to be in my life, otherwise I'm going to be nothing when they're gone, we need to celebrate the moment now, in the knowing that it's not going to last forever. And it is that knowing that it's not going to last forever that is going to make the relationship even better. Because now we don't take things for granted. Every day is a blessing. Everything is special. Yeah. It's like life. If life didn't end, we wouldn't care about anything at all. It is the very fact that we are mortal and that things don't last that makes that life so special. There's an urgency, and it is what makes it beautiful and gives it sense, coherence, and structure. And it's the same thing with love and people. We don't want to accumulate people. We want to experience experiences and know that all things are always changing and flowing and evolving all the time anyway. Clement, thank you. How do I heal from my childhood trauma from my narcissistic mother? So there are all sorts of different systems. I am a therapist myself. So if we work together, I would utilize my tools, I would hypnotize you, and we would go into your subconscious mind, back into the episode from the past, when you have created that sense of self that is now still plaguing your life. And my job will be to change the energy of how you see yourself and how you feel about yourself, so that you no longer need to feel attracted by people who are difficult. Because the reality is that a lot of nice people are there, but they're just not exciting enough for you. Because your mind has tricked you into feeling excited by bad boys, by people, again, who are not emotionally available. And so that's one of the ways to do this. However, there are many different ways. Some people use systems like EMDR to address trauma. Some people go the route of mindfulness. Some people do some somatic healing. Some people spend a lot of time reading and understanding psychology, the mind, and all those things, internal family system. And so it depends. It's for you to find out what works best for you. There's not one system in the world that works for everyone. However, there's at least one system that will work for you at this point in time in your journey. Again, I am biased, but in my book, the things that I do, and it's called RTT, when it comes to trauma, is what I know at this point in time is the most powerful to use as a tool. So something for you here. Angela, so true. We are always growing and we shouldn't expect perfection in a relationship, of course. Angela, thank you for your explanation, Didi. Thank you. Congratulations on finding a special person, Didi. Thank you. But again, you know, he could disappear tomorrow, or I could, and it's okay. It really is okay. I know it's a difficult idea to get our head around, but because I spent so much time thinking about those things, and we're also both very spiritual, and so we kind of have accepted everything. We really take it a day at a time in terms of everything. And it's a good place to be. Clemens, thank you very much. Okay, thank you. Go on your journey of self-discovery. Find out, explore, but you can change. You deserve better. And it's going to be tricky for you even to consider trying to change, because there could be a part of you that is trying to self-sabotage your attempt to change, because it wants you to stay the same. Sometimes you just so accustomed to our sense of normality that it's better the devil we know. And so because of that, that's why so many people struggle to even start trying to change. So be aware of this. But you deserve to change, and you can change, and you have your whole life ahead of you to find out what will work best for you. Petika said hi. Hello, Petika. And the reason why I said that you need some professional help is because you talk about childhood trauma. Trauma is a big thing. It's not something that, for the vast majority of us, we can learn in a book or have a hack to deal with. It's deep, it's complex, and it's different for everyone. Now, some people may have some aha moment in their life where everything changes. It does happen, but we don't want to rely on luck to heal. Snow Squirrel, cheers. Thank you. Clemens, I discovered indeed I am attracted by unavailable people because of my narcissistic mother. Okay. So you know what to do. Instead of thinking about that guy, think about what you can do to change your whole narrative about yourself. Clemens, I do need professional help. I have scheduled an appointment in April. Okay, fantastic. Good on you. So there you go. You are started on that journey, just keep going. And know that in the meantime, the rumination that you have for that person is totally normal because it's the symptom of what you have. Right? So instead of worrying about the rumination, maybe in the meantime, do things that can make you feel more present, that can make you feel better about yourself. Find ways to entertain your mind so that you don't allow the thought of him to come back inside of it. Do things, explore things, listen to music, dance, go for walks, watch some stuff, some videos that you enjoy watching, some content that you find interesting, be creative, do things to entertain your mind, as opposed to allowing for all your thoughts to come back. That's something that you can do in the meantime. Petika, how to address my husband's anger issues since he's completely shutting me down? If he's completely shutting you down, there's nothing you can do, right? I'm going to assume that you care for him, right? And you want to help him or not. Could you correct me on that? Because I don't know much, I don't understand much about your situation at this point in time. But just based on what you said, if someone has anger issues and they don't want to speak to you, then there's nothing you can do because you can't force them to speak. And also, when men have anger issues, very often they are suffering from that. The anger is there to keep them going. More often than not, it's because they are depressed. However, because we live in a patriarchal society and men must be men, they can't be vulnerable, they can't be sad, they can't cry. And so whenever they feel vulnerable, instead they're going to use anger as a secondary emotion to cover that up. Because anger, again, in a patriarchal society, is synonym with strength, which is stupid. But this is what people think. And so in the end, a lot of men are shutting down and just being angry because they're trapped into their own limiting belief and toxic habits of thoughts and emotions. And so he needs help. However, if you tell your husband to seek help, try, but it may not work because he may already have a bias and be protective against you. So how to address your husband anger issue? Number one, stay safe. No matter what the situation, you deserve to stay safe. No matter how much you love him or how much you want to understand him and help him out, nothing about his anger should affect you, right? You come first. And then if you are safe, then try to maybe imply tell him, seek help. I'm not judging you. I want you to feel better. So whatever works for you, I'm supporting you. But if you said that and it still doesn't work, maybe the best course of action is to create a space between you and him. But again, if you want to tell me more about your situation, I'm more than happy to explore this together. Petit, yes, that is true. Okay. Kevin, Didi, the car will not start well. Now I know. Okay. I'm not sure what to say about this. Keep going. Keep telling me more, Kevin. Maybe at some point I will have a vision about something. Clemens, can cannabis trigger psychosis? Yes, absolutely. Any drugs and alcohol can induce psychosis, absolutely. We see this all the time, a lot of time. And it's not just people who have conditions, but yeah, it is quite well understood. Do you smoke cannabis? Do you believe that you have psychosis? What gets you to ask that question, Clemens? Or is it that person that you think about who smokes and experiences psychosis? Petika, thank you, thank you. I can talk about anger all day long. I used to suffer from anger myself, big time. Again, ADHD, bipolar, borderline personality disorder, CPTSD. So I used to be terribly overreactive. I used to take everything personally. I used to be very mean, very nasty, very horrible to myself and to others as well. And so we can absolutely talk about this. What I could say is that I don't know about your husband. Some people are narcissistic. Some people are mean because they don't have empathy. But the vast majority of us, if we are mean, is because we are protecting ourselves. We are mean out of fear, not because we want to hurt others necessarily. So something to bear in mind. So I don't know which one your husband is. But anger is not always determining that someone is bad. I used to be angry all my life, and I hated this, but I couldn't do any difference because that's all that I knew then. Petika, what was the turning point for you? It's been ongoing all my life. Yeah. I had one big aha moment where I was able to confront my past, and that allowed me to change a lot. I used to be addicted to Class A drugs and alcohol and anger and a lot of things. I was a very different person. I was always angry. But then at the age of 38, I was given a chance to help my mum, who was the instigator of all of my problems from a very young age. And somehow, over the course of 6 months, things started to change. And in 2009, everything changed. To cut a long story short, I had to look after my mum, despite everything. And so I did that. And it was terribly difficult. But eventually, I fixed her. She had a cancer, and she had a lot of mental health problems as well. But she got better after I spent 6 to 9 months with her, living with her. And it was, again, very super hard for me. But I did it. But then when I came back to London, because she lives in Paris, she called me and she said, "Thank you, by the way, for saving my life." And in that moment, 39 years of hatred and despair and anxiety, fear and resentment, all of those things just vanished in one moment. I went teetotal the next day. I started a career as a personal trainer, and then I became a mindset coach, and now I am a therapist. As I looked after myself, I learned how to help others with skills, and that led me to first address my body, and then my mind, and then deeper in my mind. So that's why I'm here now today. But to be honest with you, this was one event that was very, very obvious, but there has been many more ever since. Healing is a journey that lasts your whole life. Through the pandemic, also I had another mega huge moment where I realized that I had conditions that I didn't know I had, and that also was another huge step in my self-awareness journey. Clement, I've had a psychotic episode. I heard the voices of the man who I fell in love with in my mind, sexually harassing me. What does it mean? It was torture, so horrible. I don't know what it means yet, but what I do know is that you need some help. Until someone speaks to you, we can't tell, because it could be anything. But what I was telling me that you are overwhelmed, you're going through a lot. And if you are smoking cannabis, it's not going to help. If you're experiencing this when you smoke cannabis, my advice to you is, if you can, stop smoking cannabis for now. Because if you are in a fragile state, if you are overwhelmed by a lot of things, if it's been ongoing for a long time, then the cannabis is going to be only an open door for a lot of more complications to happen. So, yeah. Can you stop smoking? Can you replace it with something else until you get some work with someone? But also when we are high or drunk or any altered state, that amplifies how we feel. There's a lot of things that we're holding inside of us. But when we are in those states, everything comes out. And because we've been holding something for such a long time, it comes out at a level of intensity and amplitude that is very often bigger than what it was. Because it's like a pressure cooker. It's like when people are drunk. Some people who are drunk are very happy. Some people who are drunk are very sad, they cry a lot. Some people who are drunk are very angry, begin to fight. And that's because they've been holding those things inside of them all along. Either anger, frustration, or sadness. And so when they are drunk, in that moment, it's all coming out. But because there's been a lot for a long time, it's a lot that comes out. And so it may be the same thing happening with you with the cannabis. Petika, I think it is due to childhood traumatic experience. His father was an alcoholic. Yes, our past will chase us until we don't decide to confront it. Yeah. Petika, I'm so happy for you. Thank you. Amazing how small things make the big difference. It was not a small thing. It was a small thing that came at the end, at the back of 39 years of suffering and ups and downs and roller coaster and storms. And it was really terribly destructive for both me and my mum. And so it seems like a small thing, but it was actually the culmination of everything else. And this is what is true for all of us. Everything that we experience, we look at it as if it was a small thing. But everything that we experience is always, always, always the continuation of everything that happened to us up to this point. We are a story that is constantly unfolding every day. And so, yeah. I understand where you're coming from, and I appreciate it, but it's not a small thing. For me, it was a huge thing. It was the biggest thing in my life ever. She has never given me any praise, but it was just that. But I needed to know that she loved me somehow, that she could see me, that I had some sort of value for her. But again, this is me. Everyone is different. But this is what I do with my clients. When I go in regression through hypnosis, we try to find that aha moment for them. Clemens, you have a beautiful testimony for your work. Okay, thank you. Patika, yes, exactly. Life is a journey, healing as well. Yeah. Clemens, I think your voice is very soothful and your advices are good. I'm glad you appreciate them. Thank you, Clemens. Tana said hi. Hello, Tana. Clemens, I am looking for the help of the addictologist for my addiction for cannabis. So seek help. There's a lot of people out there with different set of tools, different experience, and so it's for you to find out. So I wish you all the best with that. But do your best. I mean, you have a lot of things to deal with. It's about you finding out what is your entry point to your mountain of problems. What is the one most important thing at this point in time? And just focus on that. What will be my advice to you? Kevin, I am upset that the car will not start. I'm sorry to hear about this, Kevin. There's nothing I can do about this as far as your car is concerned. Can you tell me more? What are you trying to do? What do you need to take your car for? Because at the moment, all I get from you is that you are upset and anxious and depressed because your car is not working. Can you tell me more, please? Clement, Kevin, where do you have to go with the car, which is important? Yeah, my question, amongst others. Tana, is substituting one addiction with another one, which is less harmful, feasible? It's only a temporary solution, but it doesn't fix the problem because the need for an addiction is still there. Let me finish your comment. It may not totally cure current situation, but at least help avoid more detrimental one away. What do you suggest? I would suggest for you to address the root cause of your problem. When people have addictions, it's not because of the addiction. It's because they have a malaise, something wrong within them, and they need to feel better. And so we want to address that thing. If you choose, let's say, I did that myself. There was a time where I stopped drugs and I only drank alcohol. In intensity, it was not as bad because with drugs, my behavior would be much, much, much more extreme. However, I was still a hardcore alcoholic. I would get drunk and pass out not once, but twice a day sometimes, every day for months on end until I would fall into a coma and wake up in the pool of my own vomit after 5 days. And it will not only affect my health, but also, of course, my relationships, my work, everything. And so it seems like a good idea at first, but it doesn't fix anything because even if you do something smaller, it can still take your whole life in different ways. And so if it's something urgent, if you are smoking crack and you need to replace it with alcohol, yes, let's say for 2-3 weeks, it's something that is slightly less worse. But it's not sustainable because at some point you will lose control of it and problems will come back into your life in different ways. And so address the root cause of your problems. Find out why you needed that in the first place. That would be my advice. Again, I can talk about this in great deal. I used to be addicted myself up to the age of 38, like big time. And I'm absolutely total and happy and healthy and all. And so it's possible to change. But we must address, as I always say, both the fire and the smoke. The fire is the addiction, and the smoke is the trauma. The depression, the anxiety, the overwhelm, the mental health condition. Some of us, we suffer because we don't know that we have some conditions. We're undiagnosed, and we believe that there's something wrong about us. And sometimes, for some of us, all we need to know is to realize that maybe I'm on the autism spectrum, maybe I'm ADHD. So that explains everything. There's something wrong about me. People have been wrong about me all along. They were wrong, not me. And that in itself can change everything. We don't need then to disconnect from reality anymore. We can learn how to discover who we are. Yeah. Does it help, Tana? Clemens, is the root cause of my addiction can be the childhood trauma from my narcissistic mother? Yes, absolutely. Yep, 100%. Now, in which way, we don't know. And this is for you and your therapist to unravel as you work together. But yeah, for sure. Everything about us is always the continuation, as I said before, of everything that happened before. However, the things that happened to us in childhood are much more important because they happened earlier when we were just developing our understanding of the world. And so it's like a tree. The way it starts is going to create the direction of how it keeps growing. And so basically, when I hypnotize people, for instance, we go as far as we can. Even with people who suffer from PTSD. There's a reason why they are more prone to suffer from an overwhelming event than other people. Kevin, I do not have to go anywhere now, but I'm trying to think of the future. Okay, so if you don't need to have to go anywhere now, you don't realize that you are suffering because precisely you are thinking about the future. Right here and now, if you can, look around you, and I want you to do something that we call grounding technique. Name out loud 5 things that you can see. Name out loud 4 things that you can hear. Touch 3 different textures and name them out loud. Smell 2 different smells. And then take a deep breath in, squeeze your muscles, release. And I'm going to show you how to do this. So I'm going to name out loud 5 things that I can see right here and now in my environment. I can see my watch. I can see my reflection in the phone. I can see my hand. I can see the lighting. And I can see my iPad in front of me. That's 5. Next, I'm going to pay attention to sounds. I can hear a door slamming somewhere in the building. I can hear some cars outside in the street. I can hear my tinnitus. And I can hear my own voice. That's 4. Next, I'm going to touch 3 textures. So I can touch this. This is sort of velvety. That's 1. I can touch my face, my skin. That's 2. And I can touch my iPad. That's 3. Next, I'm going to smell 2 smells. So first one, that's tea. And number 2, some perfume that I have. And next, and take a deep breath in and squeeze all the muscles in as I breathe in and release as I breathe out. And just like that, right here and now, I'm back into this moment for 1 moment. If I allow for my thoughts to take over again, I'm going to be back into the future or the past. But right here and now, I'm safe. Right here and now, everything is good, and it's the same with you. Right here and now, there's no burglar trying to break in. Right here and now, there's no bad people trying to bully me. Right here and now, there's no zombies trying to eat my brain. Right here and now, I'm good. I'm looking at my body. I'm not freezing. I'm not drowning. I'm not burning. No one has stabbed me. I'm not bleeding. I'm fine. Right here and now, you are good. Try this. It's called grounding technique. There's a lot of different things that you can do, but it's one of the many mindfulness techniques to come back in the present moment, because your problems, they only exist in the future and the past, not right here and now. For the vast, vast majority of us, right here and now is always safe and is always okay. And we can always even find things to be grateful about in this moment. But this is the next level. The first thing you want to do is to find out that you are safe right here and now. Many people in the world are not safe, but I would assume, just based on mathematics, that you are safe. Unless we live in a country at war that is being bombed, unless we live in abject poverty, unless we are being abused by people in our very household. For everyone else, right here and now is always safe. Does it help, Kevin? And again, just so you know, if you don't know that video will be available to be replayed sometime tomorrow on my channel. All my live streams, I leave them on my channel. So it takes about 24 hours for YouTube to fully upload the live streams. But sometime tomorrow, if you enjoy this, just come back to my channel, make sure that you subscribe. I appreciate your support. And then you can go on the live section, find the one that I'm doing now, and replay it. Okay? Clemens, what my personality disorder can be with psychotic episodes? Can it only be caused by cannabis? Either or both. Some conditions create psychosis, and also some people have psychosis because of substances, and also some people have this because of both, like me. For a long, long time, I had a lot of hallucination. It was difficult for me to realize because I've been drunk, high, hungover, non-stop up to the age of 38. I genuinely didn't have a single day where I was neither hungover or drunk or high. So for a long time, I was not sure. But now that I understand that I have conditions related to that, it makes sense anyway. It doesn't matter. Did the egg or the chicken came first? Doesn't matter. What matters is that you're experiencing psychosis and you have some work to do about yourself. And so the first thing that you can do, if you can do that, would be to stop smoking cannabis. And I know that it's not easy. But again, we can talk about this if you want. I'm going to be here for another 25 minutes. Tanner, thank you for your comprehensive explanation. Thank you, Tanner. Clemens, you really have great advices for real. All right, I'm glad you appreciate. AZ1904, excellent. Thanks so much. Thank you. Kevin, is that see 5 things here too? So it's easier. Think about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See 5 things, hear 4 things, touch 3 things, smell 3 things, and then breathe in, let it go. That's my version of it. Some people change the number, the whatever. This is something that I've been using and it works quite easily. It's easy to remember. But yes, squeeze my muscles and let out. And you can even say, let go, or something like that. Clements, how can I stop smoking cannabis? Have you tried stop smoking cannabis before? How do you stop? By not smoking. That's how you stop. But for me to understand why it may be hard for you to stop, you need to tell me why it was hard for you to stop. Have you tried? Tell me more about it, please. But just based on the way you phrased your question, how do you stop smoking cannabis? By not starting. Again, it's just me being a smart ass, but that's all that I can say at this point in time. And so tell me more about this. How long have you been smoking? Do you smoke every day? How much do you smoke? My advice for you would be for you to do something different. Go out. Go for a walk. Try this. Go outside of your home. Go for a walk. Go in the park. Put some earphones. Listen to some music, your favorite music, and go for a walk. Enjoy the trees. Enjoy the squirrels. Enjoy the stars. Enjoy the outside fresh air. And just walk. And that will give you already something rather than smoking cannabis. But I assume that you smoke at home. So if you come back home, as soon as you're home, you're going to feel familiar and you can feel that something is missing, and that thing is the cannabis. So I need to know more about your habits so that we can give you something to do about it. Chris Hilton, good evening, Didi. Appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Chris. And I appreciate all of your comments on my videos. Clement, I tried to stop when it was making me unfunctional for 1 year. Okay, so you were able to stop for a year. So if you can stop for a year, you can stop for a few days until you get help from people, right? Again, seek help. I smoke all day, every day. Clemens, okay. Seek help. Seek help, seek help, seek help. You know what? Cannabis does induce psychosis and it makes people paranoid as well. Big time. So I understand that it's a hard situation for you because cannabis is probably here to make you feel better about other things. That's why I said to you, you have a lot of things to address. Just focus on the entry point of your mountain of problems. Find out what it is that you can do now to feel a bit better about yourself. But don't try to change and fix everything, because it's not going to happen. And if anything, the more you're trying to change everything right here right now, the harder you're going to make that journey for you. Focus on little baby steps. Be kind to yourself. Take your time. You have a lifetime of habits of thoughts and habits of emotions and habits of behavior to change. And so take your time. If you want it, we could organize a call together. Addiction is one of my strong specialisms. But understand that you already have some people that are waiting for you. And so it's up to you. You have options. That's what I'm trying to say. Clemens, I'm glad I finally have an appointment with a psychiatrist. Okay, so you don't need me. You have some people. Just keep going as best as you can, and things will get better because you already have an awareness that you want to change, and you're already taking the steps for them to happen. So you're good. You're good to go. Clemens, thumb up. Okay. Kevin, thanks, Didi. Very grateful for you. Thank you, Kevin. Does the exercise we did help a little bit? But then again, it's only something that will make you feel better in the moment. It's only going to address your root cause. So we can talk about this if you want. Again, I'm going to be here for another 20 minutes. We have a little bit of time. Laura Hook, how do you feel about somatic therapy? It's a protocol amongst many. So I believe that, generally speaking, somatic therapies would be better for anything to do with trauma and the subconscious mind because it addresses our nervous system. However, there are many different types of somatic therapies. There are many different types of people, as in therapists. And so it's for you to find out what works for you. Again, everyone is different. For some people, somatic healing is great. For some people, it may be a little bit of a mix of a lot of different things. Some people may go all full-on spiritual, or holistic. You'd be surprised. This is why I never diss anything. Because even if someone tells me that weird thing, hippie woo thing has helped me, I'm happy for them. It doesn't matter. It helped them. I've met so many people, so many of my colleagues are mixing all sort of things and are into very strange stuff. But it's okay. If some people can relate to that and it helps them, why not? Who am I to judge? But somatic therapy, generally speaking, is a better type of therapy as far as trauma is concerned. And the things that I do, again, hypnosis is one of them. We don't shake, we don't do any of those things, but we address the subconscious mind. So in that sense, it is addressing the emotional self, as opposed to thinking about things until, I don't know the expression, until the chickens are awake, or something like that. And I forgot. Laura, thank you. Thank you. Clemens, my father put suppositories for years. Can it be sexual abuse? Your father put suppositories in you? Did you need them? I don't know. I need to know the context. Did you need them, or was it something that he enjoyed doing even though you didn't need them? Can you tell me more, please? Laura, okay. Aha, okay. Clemens, I'm afraid it was, I have almost no memory. Oh, when all of your memories are stored in your subconscious mind. If you have no memory, it's only because they're not there, but they're here. I, for instance, for most of my life, I had no recollection of my past as a child. I had no memories at all, only the bad ones. Because my mind thought that it was only important for me to replay those traumatic experiences. Everything else didn't matter, but they were always there. And after I've healed, I was able to see some pictures of me and remember all of those memories. And still to the day of today, every now and then, out of nowhere, I've got some memories, some flashbacks, and it feels amazing, and I know that it's true, and I was there, and it was real. But I have not thought about those thoughts or felt those emotions for, I don't know, 40 years, 50 years. I'm 55 now. You know. And so the reason why you think you have no memory is because your mind is getting you to only obsess over some memories, because you believe that those memories are more important. Typically, they're the one very emotionally charged. But all of your memories are somewhere, and they will come out at the right time at some point. And also, again, because of the drugs and the alcohol myself, I really thought that my brain was like a Swiss cheese, Gruyere, with a lot of holes. But you'd be surprised how we have so much more potential than we think we do once we have healed. Clemens, I needed them because I was constipated. Okay, so if you needed them, then I don't believe that your dad was being unreasonable or abusive to you in any way. Unless it was the way he did it. I don't know. We need to get to know each other more in order to have a better picture of this. But I would highly suggest you to really think about doing your best to stop smoking cannabis if you can, as a priority. Whatever you do is going to affect your mind, and you need your mind to do your work. Clement, I'm afraid he has abused of the situation, but I'm not sure. I can't remember well. Okay. So, yeah. Again, if you work with someone who can hypnotize you, you will know for sure, because your memories are still there. And so there's no hit and miss. Your mind will show us what happened. But in the meantime, don't think about those things. As in, try to think about other things. We can't not think about something, but we can choose better thoughts instead. And so if you keep on thinking, did you do that? Is it because of that? Da, 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 da. Now, with your state and the cannabis, everything is going to get worse. Instead, listen to some music that you enjoy. I don't know, Bob Marley, while you're having your spliff. And that will start to make you feel a bit better about yourself. And again, go for a walk. Take some fresh air. Connect with nature. If anything, that will help you feel better, at least for a moment. Thank you for the other heart. Stephen L. Well, we can also observe our thoughts. Yes, yes. But I was talking about when you are smoking cannabis. When we're high, things are slightly different. But yes, learning how to observe our thoughts is absolutely the one thing that we should all learn to do at some stage within our healing journey, absolutely. People call it metacognition now. It's quite trendy, the highest form of intelligence. But in therapy, we call it cognitive diffusion. And this is something we've been doing forever. And it's basically learning how to separate ourselves from our thoughts and our emotions and feelings and our identity, our ego, our sense of self. So yes, I agree with you, Stephen. It's a great thing to do. It's just that I'm not sure that if someone is high, I'm not sure how much we can do of this when you're high. I'm not sure if, even for some of us, if there's any thoughts left to observe in that kind of context. Easy, sunny side up. Thank you for what you do, sir. You are helping me. It is a blessing to have encountered you. I'm so happy. Thank you so much, Easy. Thank you for the kind words. I appreciate them. And again, if you want to ask me anything, please feel welcome. Stephen, I came in late. Apologize. It's all right. I'm going to be here for another 10 minutes. We have a bit of time. Anything you want to discuss, just fire. Stephen, observation is simply that, high or not. Okay, fair enough. I'm just waiting for any more comments. I've got 9 minutes left. I like to always try my best to stay until 8 o'clock because I always say in my videos that I'm going to be here up till from 6 to 8 p.m. So we're not far away. Kevin, I took your suggestion. Now I better rest up. Thank you, Kevin. I'm glad you did. AZ1904. Thank you, sir. Thumbs up. I'm still here. So, Raya Sunray. Hell. I like to assume that you meant hello. Right. Stephen, it's always a pleasure to touch base with you. Thank you for your time. Thank you. I appreciate your kind comments. Petika, thank you for your work. Thank you. Laura, could you get some advice for women in losing weight around the midsection in their 50s? Sure. So if you want to lose weight, number one, you want to realize that you don't lose weight just here or there or there or there. You lose weight everywhere or not. And the next thing you want to realize is that when people find it difficult to lose weight, if they have tried for a long time, it's not because of the training, it's not because of the diet, it's not because of the whatever protocol that they are going through. It is because there's an emotional attachment to the food. That's it. And so what we want to do is to find out why we have that attachment. Why do we need food to maybe cope with stress and overwhelm? And if we can do that, now we're addressing things from the emotional mind's perspective. Because very often people only address their habits of actions. I want to lose weight, so I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to eat salads instead of eating cakes. And our habits of actions are always generated by habits of thought and habits of emotions. And so if we don't change our habits of thoughts and emotions, but only the actions, it will always come back with a revenge. There's a great show on Netflix I haven't seen yet, but it's about The Biggest Loser. It was a big show, I think, in the 1990s, where a lot of people who were morbidly obese would compete to lose weight ASAP. And I've met one of the person who won. We never worked together, sadly, or not yet. But I had a conversation with that guy, and he, amongst other people on that show, he was not the same. I think he was in the UK, not in America, but he won. He lost weight and he gained a lot of money and momentary fame. However, because they only addressed the habit of action by forcing them to train every single day non-stop and eating nothing, then as soon as he was back into his normal life, it all came back with a revenge. And so if you are struggling with weight, first address, find out what is the connection between food and how I feel. And if you can do that, once you have changed that, after that, super easy. Everything will just unfold. You will lose weight because if you want to, because it's relatively easy to lose weight. The reason why we struggle is only because we are emotionally connected to food in some ways. And emotions are subconscious. For the vast majority of them. I mean, in the way they affect our behavior. Does it help, Loruk? Soraya Sunray. Hello, Ahmed. Sorry. I thought so. Loruk, thank you. Thank you, Loruk. Easy sunny side up. Since about 3 years, I help my old mother as good as I can, but I have done her so wrong the past decades. Okay, do you want to tell us more about this? Petika, so true. I am an emotional eater at the moment because of high stress levels and lack of sleep. So very often, not always, but for many of us, food is actually a stress regulator. If we're overwhelmed, it's one of the things that many of us will return to soothe the nervous system with. For others, it's going to be cannabis, or shopping, or working. Laura, thank you. That makes so much sense. Thank you. Easy, sunny side up. In a future meeting her, I would love to elaborate. Okay. Well, we have 5 minutes left. But if you want to indeed talk about this in more depth and tell me more about this, I'm going to be back Friday. I'm here on YouTube every Wednesdays and every Fridays from 6 to 8 p.m. UK time. Or at least from 6. If it's very, very quiet, then I may finish before. But up to now, I seem to pretty much always complete 2 hours. Today I was nearly going to finish at the start because there was not much people at the start. But yes, here I am. So yes, Laura, if you don't mind me asking, in the picture behind you, the old picture, are they your parents? They are a beautiful couple. Thank you. Yes, it is my parents when they get married. Thank you. I had a lot of very complicated relationship with them for a long time. And so this, now that I have come to terms with everything, it is my tribute to them. Now I'm really, really, really proud and happy to have had my parents, no matter what. But it's a personal journey. And this is my testimony, my tribute. Luruk, heart emoji, AZ, heart emoji, and this. I'm going to introduce myself out gently, unless someone asks me the last question for the road, but you can find me on TikTok. I also exist on Instagram and Facebook, but I don't do much there. I just recycle my post. But TikTok and YouTube. And YouTube is the platform that I'm trying to push the most. And so, just so you know, I put a long form content every week, once a week. The one that I put out this week, today, is about comfort zone. And basically, the title is Growth Happens in the Comfort Zone. So I'm becoming a bit of a contrarian here. But on the thumbnail, it says comfort zone equals growth. Don't listen to them. So if you have interest in that, check this out. It's only a 7 minutes video. I posted it literally 3 hours ago, and I believe that many of us would benefit from that. We need to come out of our comfort zone, but it's important to understand the bigger picture, because otherwise it can be very overwhelming and intimidating for so many of us. And so check it out. Long form video every week, and the one that I've done today is called Comfort Zone Equals Growth. Easy. I'm sorry, Wednesday and Friday. Every Wednesdays and every Fridays. I'm going to be here this Friday, Friday the 13th. So if you want to talk about something, come early from 6 o'clock so that I have a lot of time to explore that conversation with you. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet to me, to have some maybe notification of me scheduling my life. If you forget. Clemens, can limerence be triggered by narcissistic behavior? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. Yes, 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 yes. Again, Clemens, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe and come back, and we can talk about either Friday or sometime next week, Wednesdays or Fridays. Okay. Friday, yes, easy. Petika, I'm sure they are very proud of you and your work. Um, well, my dad is in heaven, so I'm sure that he's proud there. My mum, she's still alive, and I think she's relatively content of me. I wouldn't say that she's proud of my work, but that's because we have some communication problems. We speak with a mix of Cantonese, French, and English. I never really knew how to. My Cantonese is very poor. And so because of that, she doesn't really understand the things that I'm doing. She has a vague notion that I'm helping people with their mental health conditions, but she doesn't understand anything that I say, sadly. But it's okay. I can see that she's happy, she's content with me. I'm happy with her as well. So that's enough for me. But thank you for your kind word anyway. Annick, you're coming to the end. Annick, I'm going to remove you. Okay. But it's the end anyway. London, I passed by your stream earlier and I found it again. Did you say you traded? No, I don't trade. I'm not sure what you're talking about. I suggest my services every now and then as a mental health professional. I'm a therapist. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist and an RTT therapist. I don't know if that's what you mean by trading, but I don't sell stuff. Maybe you are mistaking me for someone else. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to go now. Thank you guys for watching until now, for interacting with me, or even for being there. A lot of people don't like to talk, but maybe they appreciate learning things hidden behind, and it's okay. And so if you appreciate this, again, please subscribe, come back. If you know anyone who needs a sort of help, bring them along with you. And let me read the last comment. Henrik, good day. Thank you, Henrik. Petika, thank you. Thank you. Ezi, this as well. Clemens, thank you very much. Guys, I love you all. Look after yourself. Take care. Remember to be kind to others if you can. But if you can't, at least be kind with yourself. All right? Kevin, thanks, Didi. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye for now.